So I brought to you the other day how Congress has now removed the ban on giving U.S. weapons to the neo-Nazi Azov Battalion in Ukraine. There's also reports now that the Azov Battalion, which I don't know what the exact percentage is of Ukraine's military that is neo-Nazis. It may be only 5 or 10%. But the thing is, if you are the most violent and the most fascistic and the most willing to kill and maim over your beliefs, the neo-Nazis kind of run the military systems there. And I've seen some reports that Zelensky has basically been told by the Azov Battalion that if he were to sign any kind of peace deal, that it would be, quote, very bad for him, which you know what that means. Now, the thing is, I don't view Zelensky as some kind of peacenik who's been just bending over to the Azov Battalion the whole time. I think he is also a lunatic, but it's quite possible that there could be some sort of peace deal, except for the fact that the neo-Nazis want to fight to the death. But this news is about the Azov Battalion profile has quietly been removed from Stanford University's extremist group list. So Stanford created a list of extremist groups, and now that Congress is sending weapons to these neo-Nazis, Stanford has decided to also remove them from the list. Stanford University's Mapping Militants Project, a U.S. government-funded initiative that conducts research on violent, militant, or extremist organizations, quietly removed their profile on the Azov Battalion early last month. The Azov Battalion, now known as the 12th Special Purpose Brigade, is a Ukrainian National Guard unit infamous for its use of neo-Nazi insignia, which was also covered by the New York Times. The New York Times covered the fact that they have swastikas and other neo-Nazi insignia on their uniform. The New York Times was trying to defend it by saying, you know, they don't really understand how upsetting that is. Does anyone really think that there's a lot of Nazis out there who don't know what Nazi is? Do they really think? The New York Times expect us to believe that there's loads of Nazis running around who just don't know what Nazi means? I don't think so. Unit infamous for its use of neo-Nazi insignia, recruitment of far-right foreign fighters, and alleged war crimes. The Stanford MMP's mysterious removal of its Azov profile was followed about a month later by the U.S. State Department lifting its ban. Oh, I missed that when I first read this. I didn't realize that they removed it before the U.S. State Department lifted the ban on military assistance to the Azov Battalion, raising questions about the motives behind the removal of the webpage. So it would seem that the U.S. knew this was coming down the pipe, that they were going to start sending weapons to the Azov Battalion, and so they went to Stanford and probably asked them to remove their list of their entry of the Azov Battalion in their extremist mapping project, which of course then just brings into question the entire extremist mapping. If you could just pull one down of neo-Nazis, oh yeah, erase that one off the internet. Just scrub your screen a little. If you can just do that because you want to send guns to Nazis, then what the hell is the rest of the list? Just whatever the U.S. empire says is good for them? I mean, quite possibly, but I'm just saying.